WPTV.
Welcome back to the desk. As we recap the women's team, we switch courts to break down the men's season. And here to break that down with us, we have Ryan, Jimmy, and Andrew. Now, Jimmy, we go to you first. Heartbreaking loss to our rivals, Montclair State University, in the first round of the NJAC tournament. Lost 71-66. What did you see from the game?
You know, we can take a look here at how this game went down. I saw an overall lack of rebounding. It's been kind of something that has haunted the Pioneers all season. 71-66. We only got out-rebounded by 2, but at the end of the game, free throw, we had a chance to go down by 3. Couldn't get the rebound on the loose ball. We won the turnover battle as well. Just couldn't make shots. You see 20% from three-point range. That's just not good enough. But I talk about the rebounding all day. Michael Gilmore is the only player on William Patterson to rank in the top 20 in rebounding in the NJAC. That's not going to get it done. Got to get more size next season.
And something I saw from that game was the efficiency and the lack of it. We can say 20% from 3 and 41 from the field. Mike Jackson hit four threes from Montclair, and I believe he was 4-7 from 3 or 4-6. So being inefficient, and the Pioneers only lost by 4 points. So I think if they were a little more efficient, the tie definitely could have turned the other way. But Andrew, what did you see from the game?
Yeah, I mean, I saw Montclair just shoot lights out. They shot 36% from 3. We shot 20% from 3. Although something that was weird for me is, you know, taking a look at the stats, we dominated in points in the paint, bench points, points off turnovers, and fast break points. Still couldn't get it done down the stretch. It was like after the 5-minute mark left, it kind of just fumbled.
And Andrew, that's been the story of the Pioneers season. I mean, they were down 10 with 9 minutes to go, and then they cut it to a 2-point deficit with 2:30 to go, and they couldn't close it out. How many times have we seen both the men's and the women's team get in that position but not be able to pull off the win? Next year, there needs to be more tenacity down the stretch in order to get over that next hump.
Now, Ryan, Pioneers weren't able to get it done this year, but we did see a lot of success from a lot of our players. And we're going to give out some team MVPs now. So, Ryan, we'll start with you. Who is your team MVP for the men's basketball team?
My team MVP is Mr. Dom Mignon. Dom Mignon, 18 points a game. We got 3.6 assists per game, 4.8 rebounds a game, and he's second in the NJAC in steals with 2.5, third in the NJAC in field goal percentage, and a first-team All-NJAC selection. If he wasn't playing, and he was out for a few weeks with COVID, and they felt his presence, they felt his lack of presence there. And once he came back, they really got on a good run towards the end of the season that got him in the position in the NJAC tournament that they were.
Jimmy?
I'm going to go with the one and done, the transfer, Bryan Monahan. He absolutely balled out for William Patterson this season. 11 points per game, 3 rebounds per game, got a steal per game. Second on the team in field goal percentage and 31% from 3. He was third on the team in steals and assists, really like a Swiss Army knife. You saw the heart he played with every night. We've seen him dive over the announce tables to save some balls and steals, ran up and down the court, hit some threes in transition. Just a great season from him all the way around.
Andrew?
I'm going to go with my guy, Jaden Cepeda. We call him the Energizer Bunny on the desk here. He averaged 9 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and close to 2 steals a game, about 43% from the field. He didn't lead the team in the stats-wise, but when he was on the floor, you could tell how much better the team was. I mean, he's the loudest player on the floor. He's always energizing his team. He's in the head of the guys on the other team. He's had a great season this year. We got a lot of key pieces leaving this year. He's going to be a big part of the team.
And close it out, I'll take Adrian Lopez. And to just go off of you, Andrew, his stats aren't going to pop out at you, but it's what he did on the floor while he was there. Very efficient as he shot 48% from the field. He almost shot 40% from 3, shooting 38%. Steal a game, 4 rebounds, and he averaged 8 points, but he had a season high at 18 points. He hit probably the biggest shot in William Patterson history, or recent history, when they played Rutgers Newark. And he played big against Montclair. He played pretty well in the playoff game too, but he will be back next year as well. And something that we could talk about from this year, not the greatest season, sat right at 500. But Andrew, we'll go to you. We had a lot of bright spots, a lot of big wins. What was the biggest win of the year for you? I
got to go with the win at Montclair on December 8th. It was a William Patterson win, 84-74. We had 5 guys in double figures, which was huge. Dom Mignon with 20, Adrian Lopez his career high game with 18, and Cepeda with 18. It was crazy. Steve Bremen had 23 for Montclair, and Mike Jackson and Gregg both knocked down 3 threes. Montclair had 24 turnovers that game. I was there. I was loud. I was chirping. I had a couple of guys mad at me behind, so it was a great game.
Hey, maybe we won because of you. Who knows?
Maybe. Who knows?
Jimmy.
I'm going to go with the road victory against Kane heading into the NJAC tournament. That was a big upset victory for us. We shot 50% from 3. We had double their bench points, 55% from the field, and 4 players were in double figures. Just an offensive onslaught all the way around, and it was a big W before the tournament.
Brian?
You mentioned it earlier. It had the biggest shot in William Patterson's recent history. Their win against Rutgers Newark, the second time they faced him at home. What a game it was. I was on the call with Mr. Joe Monroy, and we were in awe of what we saw at the end of that game, and it was a huge momentum boost heading into the NJAC tournament. And Adrian Lopez in our post-game interview said, watch us get ready to take over. It may not have happened, but it was a huge, huge, huge step forward in the right direction for the Pioneers at the end of the season.
And a game that just peeks out to me is when we played NJCU. We played NJCU twice, and we swept them this year. But the game I want to key on is the one from January 26th. We were down 10 points going into half, and we went on a 22-2 run to exit that game. Dominion had 29 points, and Nick Rodriguez also dropped in 21. So that was a big game, and I think that we were struggling coming up into that game, and once we had that game and came back against them, that helped us a little bit in the second half of the season. But although, like we said, not a bad season at all, but there's definitely things that we can improve on. And Jimmy, we'll go to you first. What's the biggest room of improvement that we need to see for the Pioneers next season?
I'm going to say perimeter defense. I think overall it was, I saw in the Montclair State game, in their final loss in the NJAC tournament, you saw them give up a lot of open threes. Mike Jackson had a great season against William Patterson. He hit a lot of shots against us. Just a lot of some switching issues, open looks, second chance points, kick outs, just too many threes kind of given up. When you're lacking size like the Pioneers do, you need to control the perimeter. You can improve that next year.
Andrew?
I got to go with closing out games. It felt like time and time again there was another close game that the Pioneers were losing. Out of their 12 losses, 7 of these losses were by 8 or fewer points. It was tough. They were right up there in every NJAC category with in this season, and they started off so strong this season. It felt like, and then kind of just tapered off at the end.
Ryan?
You said lack of size, and that's the biggest issue they need to fix next season. Rebounding is what they need to improve the most on. They were 6-11 this year when they got out-rebounded, including the last 5 times they got out-rebounded, including the NJAC game against Montclair. They lost all 5 of those. -7 margin on the year. If I'm Coach Chapman and the rest of the staff, I am going to these schools where they have big guys and telling them, hey, we need you on this team to get over the hump. Because if they do, I think that we could get to the semifinals, maybe even the final.
And something I think that will also help that is bench depth. And this is something we saw going towards the end of the season. I think it helped us. We saw Cesar Silvestro come off the bench and get quality minutes. We saw Michael Gilmore come off the bench, get quality minutes. Adrian Lopez, Jaden Cepeda, they would take turns starting and coming off the bench. But I think when we got guys coming off the bench who were threats and who could score, I think we did so much better. And we won a lot of games, like the NJCU game. We had so many guys come off the bench and score. So I think if we could use more of our bench next season, if we could get taller as well, I think it's going to be the sky's the limit for the Pioneers. But moving along, let's get out of the gym and let's go on to Jeff Albies Field as the Pioneers are 5-1 to start the season. And we're going to break that all down coming up next here on WPTV.